We are all used to Magnus Carlsen coming late to a game, but it's not very common to see him arrive before his opponent. But here he is, adjusting his pieces with black against Teimour Radjabov, one of the finest players in the world of chess, one of the most solid grandmasters out there. Fifth round of the World Blitz Championship 2023. Magnus is on fire. He's on 3.5 out of 4. There comes Radjabov, a nice handshake with a smile. Teimour takes off his jacket, puts it on the chair, and then he's ready to go. There's a very famous game between Radjabov and Magnus Carlsen from the Kashimov Memorial 2014, where Radjabov essayed the King's Indian defense to beat the world number 1 and world champion back then. How will this game fare? This is going to be very, very exciting because Radjabov is known for his solidity, his ability to play solid chess against the best in the world, and with that he's been world number 4 in the past, almost crossed 2800, so he's really a big player here. Let's see how it goes. A shake of hands and e4 by Radjabov. Magnus goes solid with e5, and we have the Ruy Lopez. a6, bishop goes back to a4, knight comes out, and you have castles. And Magnus now thinks a bit whether he should go a little aggressive, but he goes for the solid line with bishop e7. The main move, of course, is rook e1 here, but Radjabov can also play d3, which is a solid system. He plays rook e1, b5. The bishop comes back, and now Magnus can castle. He can go d6. He castles it out here. Presses the clock. Radjabov has many options up his sleeve. c3 is the main line, but he plays d3, and this is a very solid approach to the Ruy Lopez because you're solidifying your center. d6, you are not going for d4 instantly, this break. You are actually going to build it up with c3, and that's how he wants to play it. Magnus just plays his pawn to d6, and now Radjabov hits with a4. The idea, of course, is to take on b5 and then capture this rook on a8, which is undefended. Magnus can do many things here. He can go rook b8, he can go b4, he can go bishop d7, he can go bishop b7. So many options, and he's taking his time here because he wants to choose the one which he feels is the right for this situation, this blitz game that he's playing. And he plays bishop d7, just connecting the rook to the queen and moving his bishop out. The game has started off slowly. We are on move number 9. Generally by this time both the players would have made many moves in a blitz game, but I think both players are being a bit circumspect here because they want to make sure that they don't make any opening inaccuracy that puts them under pressure. Radjabov also taking his time. There are many moves. c3 can be played, h3 can be played, knight d2 can be played, bishop d2 can be played. He plays bishop d2, stopping. Main idea is to stop this move, knight a5, and h6 played. Useful move in general, and h3. Radjabov also plays a useful move. So how is Magnus going to continue now is the question. The game is a bit slow, but rook b8. Now he puts his rook on the b file. Radjabov takes, brings his knight out. White has some trumps here. The main one being his rook is on the open file, and also his bishop is beautifully positioned. This knight generally goes to the d5 square, and that is exactly what he has played. Magnus brings his bishop back. You can see the usefulness of h6 move. Now there's no bishop g5 to pin the knight there. White can take on f6. He plays c3. Magnus chops it off. Bishop takes and plays his knight back. And generally the knight is very well rerouted from c6 to g6 in this line, so that it's looking at the f4 square, and Magnus should be happy with that. But also Radjabov has good chances here. He can simply double down the a file, try to enter black's camp from the a file that is there. He plays his bishop to e3, a nice little move. Magnus offers the trade of bishops, and I think it's very logical to trade it off and then push your pawn to d4. He does it. He takes, rook takes, and now d4 is a nice move, because when you take here, I can take back with the knight attacking the rook, and if you go here, there is a fork on c6. No, but he goes queen b3. This is a useful move, for the queen looks here, and also the rooks are now connected. White rook can enter down the a file. Magnus, of course, has currently no chances of creating an advantage or anything. The position is quite safe and nice for white. How is he going to try and trick Radjabov here is the question. Rook a7 played, another strong move. Knight h4, offering a trade of knights, and I think Radjabov would be more than happy to take it. The bishop is put a little bit offside, and now the rook comes into the a file. Fantastic chess by Teimour. And Magnus's c pawn is under pressure here, so have to be careful. Both players have 1 minute 15 seconds on the clock, so time wise also very even. This game is going down to the wire now. What is Magnus's plan? Well, he's analyzing this variation. Bishop g5, but then the c7 pawn could be in trouble, so he first pushes his pawn, because bishop g5 takes, queen takes, the c pawn would have been hanging, so that's why he pushes it forward. Here a good idea could be to reroute the queen from d1, maybe play it out to g4 or to f3, but Radjabov has 55 seconds now to decide what his move is going to be. He goes g3, slightly creating a weakness. Magnus quickly offers a trade of bishops, and now Radjabov must take it. He must take on g5. White's king side has been slightly weakened. Takes, queen takes g5, and now this very cool move, rook c7. Now Magnus can actually get an advantage by queen d2. The point is, if you take here, rook f6, you're forced to play rook f1. You can see Magnus is calculating this, and now this amazing move, rook a8. Queen takes pawn, and now not rook a1, because rook a1 is met with queen b6, but rook takes f2, rook takes f2, check, king here, queen d1, with the idea of queen h1 mate, and this is winning. So Magnus has to be brave and play rook f6, giving up this pawn, and you can see him calculating. From a minute, he's come down to 25 seconds, which means that he really wants to make it work, but you can look at his face, he's not happy. He knows queen d2 should work, but there's not enough time, and so he goes rook f6. This is why he did not play queen d2. A small miss there, but you know, that's what blitz games are. Queen c2 played, bringing the queen back, Radjabov back in control, and the position is completely fine now. Magnus attacks the h pawn here on h3, so the king has to move up, either king g2 or king h2. Yeah, he plays his king to h2, and Magnus can now enter queen f3. Good move by Magnus Carlsen there. And now the f2 pawn is hanging. King g1 can be played to bring the king back. He goes rook f1, d5 play. Now very important to play rook e7 to attack this pawn, but he blunders here with king g1. Bad move. This is not at all a good move. Rook d8. Magnus is doing very well now. Take the pawn on e4, and that's exactly what he does. And now queen h5 played. King g2, check again. But you know what? Here, Magnus could have been winning by playing this, but he's put a cheap trap. He wants to take here and win the rook. Radjabov has to be careful. He needs to move his rook away. He plays h4, rook f2. Magnus Carlsen finds this very nice tactic to win a pawn. And you can see Radjabov has been kind of tricked here. Queen g4, and black is a pawn up now. It's not so easy to win perhaps, but that is not the question in blitz. It's just about momentum, and the momentum is with Magnus, and he knows it. He's managed to get this extra pawn, and he will now grind it out. Rook c1, Queen comes to d2, d3. Ooh, he plays it to d3. Rook comes back to e1, attacking the pawn on e4. The rooks are traded now, perhaps. But does he trade the queens? What does he do? He goes queen d1. He wants to be very safe as possible. Queen takes, rook takes. In this rook endgame, it's clear that black is winning because black not only has an extra pawn, a better rook, and soon a better king. With the king moving in, you can see that the king comes up. King g6. And he's bringing his king to the center of the board, and at some point what he's going to do is play his pawn to g6 and then f5 and create central passer. That's his idea. Rook comes to fg2 and Radjabov resigns there. He could have still played on, but the rook endgame is lost, and they discuss there a bit. Magnus says he had no clue what was happening. But yeah, this was a very, very intense game by both the players, and Radjabov fought neck and neck there. But in the end, it was Magnus who managed to trick him and show why he's the best blitz player in the world.
AG, what are you doing? I'm on Wilder.
AG, why are you being so nice to me?
I'm on Wilder. AG, why should someone be on Wilder? I'm on Wilder.